nursing home thinks that she has pneumonia. So we did an exam, you got a chest X-ray, I'm gonna put it up and just tell me yes or no, do you think she has pneumonia? Yes. Why? Because her hand is on top of her chest like this?
What the?
Oh my God.
What the? What?
You see the mistake that was made? That's just her hand. Why would they even take that X-ray? This lady came in, she had been seeing a Vietnamese doctor on the south side of Oklahoma for bronchitis, and she's just not getting better. And so she decided to come into the ER. She got almost a total pneumothorax. He actually did an X-ray, and he thought that that was an infiltrate. It's actually her lung curled up into the fetal position right there. I don't remember this, I think this is an example of a lateral. Blacker, oops, that's not supposed to be there. And that's this infiltrate. This is a pneumothorax, yeah, there it is, you can see it. I can see it, I don't know if you can see it, there's a line right there. Went all the way down. Oh, this is Myra. This is a lady I saw in the ER. This right here turned out to be a huge cancer. She was dead within 6 months. Just that little spot. On the actual X-ray, it wasn't very obvious. You had to really look for it. There's another one. Blacker. Wow, look at that. And that is manifested here. So I got to where I'd show students the lateral first to make sure they got in the habit of looking for infiltrates in the lateral, and then show them the PA. Anybody know what this is? I used to offer $100 to anybody who knew what it was. Nobody ever knew, but I can't afford it. It's called scimitar syndrome. It's where the right lung is hypoplastic, the left lung is hypertrophied, and the vena cava and the azygos venous that comes up is shaped like a scimitar, like the Saudi Arabian sword. I saw a guy actually got into the Army. I saw him in the emergency department in the Army. He said, "Oh, my chest hurts." He just got chuckles and grins out of doing it. He said, "Oh, my chest hurts," so I gave that X-ray. What the heck is that? He watched me go through machinations and call all my specialists, knowing all along that he had scimitar syndrome. He never should have been in the Army. This is one that we saw in residences. A 19-year-old girl came in with chest pain, and I didn't see her. One of my classmates saw her, and all the films were read by the radiologist. And you can take advantage of that by telling your patient, "I'm going to have the radiologist read it for you." But the radiologist read this and said there was a pneumothorax that the resident missed. And just to save time, I'll show you where it is. It's right here. It's a very, very subtle line right there. Almost have to use your imagination to see it. We called her and asked her to come back, and it was fine. But embarrassing for Bill. Let's get this one. So as you use the system of S's, there's one thing that really stands out on this one. And just to save time, as you go through all that stuff, the only thing you see is a steeple sign. See the steeple sign up at the top? Somebody with laryngotracheal bronchitis. Right up here. What about this kid's heart? Was it pretty big? You want to do anything about that? Yeah, what about his arm? That's exactly what you should say. What about his arm?
I think his arm's a little flat.
Good call. So I just drool a little bit when I see it. This is kind of cool. This is a pulmonary abscess. This is a 20-year-old kid from Mississippi who came in with fever and chills, coughing up pus, stuff. It's a pulmonary abscess. You got the air fluid level in the lesion in the lung. That's nasty. That's the lateral. There it is right there. That's ICU material there. But this is a PA story here. I was working in the ER and had a PA student with me. And in the ER, we do tons of procedures. We'll put in cardiac pacemakers, intubate, chest tubes, Foley's, we do paracentesis. So this patient came in, this guy came in with bilateral pneumothoraces. And PA student said, can I put in one of the chest tubes? I said, yeah, put them both in. So, put in the one on the right, put in the one on the left. First we intubated the patient, and the PA student intubated the patient. And you can see, if you look at the tube, anytime you're looking at a chest X-ray, you should evaluate the tubes. If you look at the tube, it's a little bit far down. The carina is up here. So it's a little bit right main still. So this is our first X-ray that we got after we put the tubes in. And it just shocked me. We're not supposed to have a white lung over here. Can anybody tell me why we've got this? It looks kind of like an effusion, and it may be, but if there's a chest tube in, that should be fixing it, right? I had one person say, well, the ET tube is too far down, and that's the problem. You got atelectasis on the left side, but it's not that much too far down. Well, here's the problem. If you look at a chest tube, they have a radio-opaque line to show you where the fenestrations are. So follow that along, and right there, that's where the hole is. That hole has got to get into the chest, otherwise it's not doing any good. So let's follow this one. We got the hole half in and half out. Didn't put the tube in far enough, so basically we've created an open sucking chest tube. So I told the PA student again, and you just need to put it in about 2 inches. Okay, Doc, I got it. Oh yeah, look how far that thing got pushed up there. So now the holes are way up here, but you can see now the lungs start to clear out. We finally got the tube in. So that's the only time I've ever seen that in my life, and I really had to rack my brain to figure that one out. But it's a good learning lesson. Make sure that fenestration, that last hole, gets inside the chest cavity. This lady whose hand hurts, you look up here, it looks like the bone's just been eaten away by rats. That's what osteomyelitis looks like. More osteomyelitis. Get that. Just free air in the diaphragm. I like this one. This is a toddler. It doesn't really look like a toddler, but it's a toddler. Coming in, complaining, mom's complaining that the kid has fever, chills, and a cough, maybe pneumonia. What do you think? Has he got pneumonia? I don't see a pneumonia. The film's is not great because it's been copied, but clearly though, this side's all white and this side's all black. That means something to me. That's gotta mean something. So I guess you could say he's got pneumonia and treated. Anybody agree with that? Disagree with that? This was better on the old film, but it's still good. What about that round object right there? You see it? Now you see it, don't you? That's a quarter stuck in the kid's throat. Can you see it?
Now that you said it.
It's nice, it's perfectly round, it's a quarter. So is it an esophagus or is it in his trachea?
Esophagus.
It's in his esophagus. How do you know? Because it looks like this on the esophagus. To go through the trachea, the quarter has to turn sideways and go down. So you'll see it on end, and actually, why rely on that? Why not just get it on the film? So here it is, it's in the esophagus. But it'll look like this on the other view if it's in the So we had to go fish the quarter out, and that's what really helped the kid, not so much putting him on moxicillin. This is not free air, this is tylodynis. Just an example of all the things we can do. Just a little bit ago we talked about the chest tubes. Notice this chest tube is in. You want to make sure it's in. This chest tube is in. The ET tube is in. We've even done a transthoracic pacemaker. You stick them here with a pacemaker. Stick a needle into their heart, introduce a pacemaker. We used to do that all the time. This is an 18-year-old kid from Anadarko, he's a football player, running the back seat of a car that jumped into a bar ditch. And he says he was wearing a seatbelt, and he's really a nice, upstanding kid. Football player for the high school team, and he said he was wearing a seatbelt, but his back really hurts. See anything? The question is, how do we look at these? This is L1, L2, L3, L4, L5. If you're having trouble figuring out the numbers, because they have all kinds of variances and variability, almost always L3 has got the biggest wings there. Transverse process. So just look for the big ones, and that's always L3. We're going to look at the size and the height of the vertebral bodies, much like we did in the C-spine, and then we're going to look at the pedicles. So this and this. When I put the film up, I'm able to go like this with my thumbs, these and these and these. So look at this one versus this one, and 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 right there's a fracture. You see the fracture. Of course, one view is no view. I had another view to show you, but see, he's got a break in the cortex. He's got a lumbar fracture. Most folks didn't believe him. Didn't believe he was wearing a seatbelt, and he probably was, because that's what it would take to be wearing a seatbelt and get jolted forward to do something like that. I think this is a pneumopericardium. Not much to talk about there. Oh, I'm not even going to talk about this. Not enough. Talk about Terry Thomas sign. You guys know what that is? Okay, we won't talk. Elbows, the ossification centers of the elbow. Are you familiar with the how to tell how old the patient is? We're looking at their elbow. There's a mnemonic. It's Crito, C-R-I-T-O-E. Crito. I have another one, but I can't say it in public. These are the age that the patient's elbow ossifies. So the first thing to ossify is the capitellum. The second thing is the radial head. The third is the medial condyle, the internal condyle. Trochlea at 10 years, olecranon a little bit after that, external condyle after that. So you can look at a kid's elbow, and if just the capitellum and radial head is ossified, he's either 5 or 6. If the medial condyle is ossified, he's at least 7. And so if you're looking at an unknown, you got a kid that's comatose, you can get a pretty good idea of how old they are just by looking at the ossification centers of the elbow. I'm not going to talk about the hourglass. This is really, really important when you're looking at elbows, looking for the posterior fat pad. You guys learned this already, right? Mm-hmm. Posterior fat pad is so important. An anterior fat pad is not that important, unless it's sailing. If it's a sail sign, that's a big deal. But any posterior fat pad is pathological. Posterior pathological. PEP. Posterior is pathological. It's a posterior fat pad. All right, let's get all this and go on to the next lecture. So I see something that really close to my road. You know the difference between Galeazzi and Monteggia fractures? One of them, Galeazzi, is a fracture of the radius, like this. The radius is fractured, and it blows out the ulna, dislocates the ulna. And the other one is a Monteggia fracture, which is a fracture of the ulna, and blows out the radius, dislocates the radius. And it's fodder for test questions. You want to make sure you got the difference. So Galeazzi is a fractured radius with an ulna that's dislocated, and a Mason Neuf is a fractured ulna with the radius dislocated. So the way I remember it is a fractured ulna is also called a nightstick fracture, because you're holding it up from the policeman who's hitting you with his nightstick. And N is just one letter away from M, so that's a Monteggia. The nightstick fracture is a Monteggia fracture, fractured ulna, dislocated radius, and Galeazzi is an opposite. Skipping all that. This is what a Greenfield filter looks like if you've never seen one in X-ray. Looking at somebody's X-ray and say, what the heck is that? That's what that is. It's a Greenfield filter. Next lecture. I've only done this lecture a couple times, but the people that suffered through it said it was so. It's only about 1,000 slides. And lunch is waiting. It really is about 1,000 slides. We're going really fast. Is it fast enough? Is that a male or female? Male. Female or male? Almost every one of us, our whole life, we've seen so many people, we can just look and say, that's a man, or that's a woman, that's a boy, that's a girl. But every once in a while, you gotta look a little further. Like, look at the Adam's apple here, is there a little hint of a mustache? I don't know. I've had people say, seasoned docs and PAs, they throw up a chest x-ray and say, oh, that's normal, pull it down, just like that. Just like I can throw up a picture and says that a man or woman, male or female. You just know, you just look at it and you just know, because we've seen so many. How many chest x-rays have you seen? I really haven't seen that. That's what I'm going to show you the house. Boy or girl? I don't know. We need to look those. I don't know. I think it's a boy. There's kind of a hint of a mustache, but we're all kind of, studying just a little bit more.
Girl.
Think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy. Girl.
No, that's bad.
Oh.
So just looking at the faces, we can usually decide what they are, right? And if I sent you out into that crowd, you can just, as fast as you can, say boy, girl, man, boy. You should. I want you to be able to do that with chest x-rays. I want you to see a whole bunch of chest x-rays and know what's wrong. So, right. So I'm gonna spend just a few seconds on each one. Just sit back and relax and know that every one of these is a normal chest x-ray. Okay? And I'm gonna throw some animals in later. But right now, every one of these is normal. Just kind of burn the image in. This is a normal chest x-ray. Girl. Everything's just kind of symmetrical, everything's where it's supposed to be. Nothing's too big, nothing's too small, nothing's too black, nothing's too white. Just kind of burn that image in, get used to it. That's a normal chest x-ray. That one's got a pacemaker, otherwise it's a normal chest x-ray. I was wearing a necklace, otherwise it's a normal chest x-ray. Anybody see anything so far that I thought, oh, that can't be? Anybody see anything like that? Good. It's like a big heart, but it's a kid, that's all right. I'm define this. normal chest X-ray should start to become your friend here. You should be able to recognize this guy. Not entirely normal, but, you know. It's really kind of pretty. Again, some modifications. Can I go faster? Some of these are repeats, some of them are. I hear you saying, God, this is overkill. It's real. Just take it all in, get them all. All right, now we're gonna get some badness, right? Every once in a while, I'm gonna throw an abnormal, and I think after you've seen all these normals, you're gonna say, oh, wait a second, there's something wrong with that one. So we're gonna get some bad stuff coming. Stop me when you think you see an abnormal. Stop. Silicosis. Pneumothorax.
Stop.
I'd say stop, I think. Interstitial infiltrate through both lung areas. Higher lymphadenopathy, it's also Go. That's it.
Stop.
Stop. They're in color. It's kind of cheating when they're in color.
Stop.
Stop. Answer.
Stop.
Stop. What do we got there?
Dissection.
Aortic dissection. Bilateral infiltrators present. I don't think when you guys saw this, everybody wanted to stop. And some people say stop.
Stop.
Bullous emphysema.
Stop.
Yes, we know when you're done there. Is it right middle or right lower? Right lower doesn't obliterate the heart.
Stop. Stop. Stop.
That heart's pretty big. Talk about a water bottle heart. When they paint it red, it looks like a water bottle. Stop or go.
Stop.
That doesn't look quite right to me. Looks to me like there's something over here. Answer again.
Stop.
Stop. Answer again. That's all kind of all over the place. Cancer, see how that just kind of popped right out of it.
Stop.
Interstitial infiltrators.
Stop.
Cancer. Cancer.
Stop.
Thank God you said stop. Now, pulmonary calcifications. Hypocalcemia from hypoparathyroidism. Stop. Answer. That's normal. That's normal. Congenital diaphragmatic hernia.
Stop.
That's not normal. Bullous emphysema. Oh, I missed that one. Did you guys miss that? See the steeple sign?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you've been looking up there. It's left lower lobe pneumonia.
Stop.
Right middle lobe pneumonia.
And you know it's right middle because you couldn't see the heart border?
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, goodness. Nodular shadow. Treated with acyclovir.
Oh, stop.
That's bad. There's a lot of normals in a row. Whoops. this pneumonia? Right.
Stop. Stop.
Bilateral pulmonary edema, kind of the butterfly pattern. Interstitial edema, butterfly pattern on both sides.
Stop.
So, that's the differential, it's all things equivalent.
Stop.
Stop on that one, I would say. Bilateral ground glass opacities, the vascular indistinctness, pulmonary edema. That looks like a nice small X-ray.
Stop.
Lung mass, probably cancer, with the pneumonia on top of that.
Stop.
This is just a young kid with autonomous. That heart looks too big, and then CHF, cardiomegaly, cephalization flow. You know what cephalization flow is? All these vessels out of the hilar regions and above, they usually go out. And they start to turn and go up towards the head. That's called cephalization flow. That's one of the first and most subtle things you'll see with congestive heart failure, cephalization flow. I'm proud of you. I think in the past you would have called those a definitely. You notice how we just blazed right past that, so nobody said stop? If you've seen it 100 times already. There's TV. Reticulonodular graft. What the heck is that? Wow, that's kind of cool. This patient's been intubated. Got PCP pneumonia. Pneumothorax, PCP pneumonia. The mass of the left hilar. It's a 16-day. Confusion. Rhabdomyosarcoma of the diaphragm. Oh, yeah, you see that every Friday. Some free air into that diaphragm. There's a water bottle heart, isn't it? 10-year-old. Pneumatic cardiomyopathy. Kyphoscoliosis. Wow, look at all these capitals lesions. Rule out TB, rule out septic embolism. You guys know about IV drug abusers and back pain? Totally off the subject. IV drug abusers with either back pain or neck pain. It's a big source of malpractice cases in Oklahoma, really across the country. IV drug abusers can get an epidural touches, and it causes pain in their back. And if you don't find it, it's going to extend, and they're going to get, they'll be paralyzed. They can also get what's called discitis, so it's an infection, inflammation of the disc between the vertebral bodies. And that's also a bad thing. So anybody who comes in and admits that they're an IV drug abuser, and it doesn't have to even be recent. It can be somebody who was an IV drug abuser 10 years ago, 15 years ago. They are still prone to get it. The way to clinically diagnose it, especially the epidural abscess, is to physically tap on their spinous processes all the way down, each back, each spinous process, especially where they hurt. But if you tap on it with your finger or on a hammer and say, oh, that kills me, you got to get an MRI. You have to get an MRI. And along with that, you need the CBC and the SEDRA. If they got an MRI and you miss it and they're paralyzed, your malpractice company's going to pay a lot of money. All right, I'm getting bored with this. You guys get bored?
Stop.
Complete whiteout in the chest X-ray. 2-month-old. That's pretty big. That's what his heart looked like on the day of birth. Two normal newborn chest X-rays with a normal sinus configuration.
Oh, wow.
That's what I don't guess. Wow, inhalation anthrax. The last time we took care of that one. Thoracic aortic aneurysm. Pneumo.
Stop.
Oh, that's what you're saying. Somebody aspirated a tooth. I think we're supposed to be able to see the tooth. I don't see it. Obviously, you recognize that, huh? All right, any questions? See you at 1 o'clock.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.